This is a Daily Crowdsource. I'm David. I'm speaking with Niel Robertson, founder and CEO of Trada. Niel, thanks for talking with us. Can you quickly give us an introduction to Trada?
Sure. Thanks, David, for having me today. I'm super happy to chat with you. So Trada is a crowdsourced paid search marketplace. What that means is that rather than individual advertisers, companies that want to do advertising on Google, Yahoo, and Bing, trying to do paid search themselves, so pay-per-click advertising, which is also what paid search is known as, and struggling to become an expert in it when they have their own business to run and things like that, we actually leverage the wisdom and the power of the crowds to build a marketplace where lots of crowdsource crowdsource experts, paid search experts work on that advertiser's campaign for them. And the really, I think, unique part of our model is that we've really developed a way for multiple people to work on one campaign at the same time. Traditionally, paid search is done by the advertiser themselves or maybe one person at an agency. We actually have, depending on the size of the client, between 15 and 25 paid search experts that work on the campaign simultaneously. And we create both a collaborative and a competitive environment for those players, which all drives towards the advertiser's better outcome and results.
Now, do you have any statistics on how it helps the advertiser?
Yes, we do. What's interesting is when we first started the business, we thought that the primary thing that we would help advertisers do is really lower their prices. And the way that paid search works is it's an auction. So if you think of going to an auction, the most popular items have the most bidders and therefore the highest prices. And the least popular items have lower prices because there's not as many bidders on them. If you think of the process of putting keywords into Google and figuring out how much to pay for them, something that's going to be less common is going to cost less. But when you have a lot of people working on the problem and bringing their own perspective to bear and also their own time and energy, they can focus on a lot of these less common and therefore less expensive keywords and really drive down the advertiser's price. So I'll give you a simple example. If you have a website that sells cell phones online, you might think of keywords like BlackBerry cell phones, used cell phones, things like that. But someone that's an expert that has the time to focus on the less common things might use like model numbers. Nokia 8100 cell phones for sale, right? Those kinds of things. The price of that keyword would be a lot less than the price of BlackBerry cell phones, because there's less people bidding on it. And that's really kind of what we thought would be the primary value to the advertisers, being able to have the time split across these 15 to 25 people working on that would drive the price down. And sort of the corollary to that is we'd also get more volume. What we really discovered in the process, though, is that the kinds of advertisers we focus on, which are small and medium-sized businesses spending between $5,000 and $50,000 a month, 50, the real gap there is expertise and time. They are all smart enough to go figure it out, but they don't have the time to do that because they're trying to run their own business. And even if they did have the time to become the expert, paid search is a daily activity and it's very time consuming. So what we really sell to most people is the combination of not knowing how to do it and not having to spend the time doing it, but being able to get a superior and sophisticated campaign than they might be able to do if they built it themselves. So oddly, we thought it would be cost, and what we ended up selling is time.
Now, how do you reward the workers?
So first and foremost, we work with the advertiser to figure out what is a profitable target for them in paid search. Paid search is a by the numbers activity. You can calculate your true cost of everything. How much did it cost to sell that product online? How much did it cost to get that lead on my website? Well, behind every website, there's a real business that has real metrics. And for some customers, they might be able to afford $50 to make that sale or get that lead. Some people might be able to afford $10 or $1,000. It really depends on the product, the price of that product, et cetera. So we work with the advertiser to figure out those numbers. And then what we do in our marketplace is we create a model where the paid search experts, we call them optimizers, essentially have limits that they can bid up to. And their goal is to go and find things on Google and Yahoo and Bing that cost less than those limits. And those limits are set so that we try to hit the advertiser's target of what they can afford. And if the optimizers are smart enough and optimized enough to get underneath those limits, they make the difference. So in a very simplistic example, if the advertiser pays $1 per click and the optimizer finds a keyword that they can get a click on Google for 90 cents, it's appropriate for the advertiser, they would make the 10 cents difference. What's critical is that Trada takes a percentage of that earning. It's 25%. So we are playing alongside everybody as a pay-for-performance participant. And we do that both on a click-based model and also on a sale-based model. So if you say, I'll pay $25 for every lead that I get because that's profitable for me, and the paid search expert gets it for $23, they make the $2 difference. So we have both of those models, and everybody runs actually both at the same time for a few reasons.
Niel, thanks for talking with the Daily Crowdsource.
My pleasure. Thanks, man.